I'm going to make sure the truck's in neutral and my brakes are applied. Get in with 3 points of contact.
Don't do that. Get shit breathing, man. Let's go.
Shut my driver's door. Driver's door opens and closes properly. Driver's side window opens and closes properly. I'm going to adjust my seat.
He's a floor sitter.
My seatbelt on. My seatbelt is not cut, torn, or frayed. Latches properly. Alright. Start from the top, work my way down. My overhead compartment is properly netted to prevent anything from falling down on me while I'm driving. My sun visor is properly mounted and secured. It blocks the sun glare while I'm driving down the road. My windshield, on both sides, there's no cracks or dings more than 1 inch. It's clean, it's free of illegal stickers. My inspection sticker is up to date and matches the registration in the driver's pouch. My dashboard, there's no obstructions that could block my view while I'm driving. Go over here to my mirrors. My driver's side West Coast and convex mirror. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. They are clean and they are both adjusted to my liking. As well as my passenger side West Coast and convex mirror. They're clean, not cracked or broken. They're adjusted to my liking. My fender convex mirrors on both my driver's side and passenger side. They're clean, they're not cracked or broken, and they're adjusted to my liking. Steering wheel. There's no more than 2 inches of play in a 20-inch steering wheel. Electric horn works. Air horn works. Go over here to my switches. This is my on-off switch for my cruise control. This is my set switch for my cruise control. I would use this to maintain a constant speed while going down the highway. This is my engine brake. It has both a low and a high setting. I would use this to slow down my engine while going down a hill or around a curve. This is my wiper on-off switch, windshield wiper. This is my windshield washer fluid switch. I will test these while when I start my air brake test. This is my headlight and marker light switch, up for headlights and marker lights, down for just marker lights. This is my marker interrupt switch. I would use this to notify the people behind me that I'll be slowing down without pressing my service brake. This is my interaxle differential. I would engage this in case I was in slippery conditions such as mud or snow. It would lock on my my drive tires on my tractor to increase the traction. This is my air suspension dump. I would use this to release all the air out of the back of the airbags in the back of the tractor. It's my trailer emergency brake. It's my tractor parking brake. My shifter is properly mounted and secure. Splitter wire, there's no cuts, tears, or frays. Splitter's working properly, it's in a down position. My shifter boot, there's no cuts or tears in it that would allow carbon monoxide to come into the vehicle while I'm driving. My floor is free of debris that could roll underneath my pedals while I'm driving. My pedals themselves, my clutch pedal has no more than 1.5 inches of play, has the proper rubber padding. My brake and my fuel pedal also have the proper rubber padding to prevent my foot from slipping off while I am driving. Alright, now I'm going to perform a safe start. That's simply depressing the clutch, making sure she's in neutral, which we already did, and that the brakes are applied. Waiting for my gauges to reset. My oil pressure is rising fine. This is my oil pressure gauge. It shows how much oil I have in my engine. It should be between 25 and 50 psi. It's currently at about 30, so we're at the proper level. This is my water temperature gauge. This tells me how hot my engine is. It's currently at about 140 and is slowly rising. This is my tachometer. It tells me how fast my engine is going. It's working properly. This is my speedometer. It tells me how fast I'm driving down the highway. I will test this when I start my air brake test. This is my fuel gauge. It tells me how much fuel I have in my fuel tanks. We're currently at a half tank, so that tells me I have enough fuel to go down the road for our road test. This is my primary air gauge. It tells me how much air I have in my tractor. It's slowly rising. The governor should cut it out at about 125 psi. This is my secondary air tank, or air gauge. This is for the trailer. It shows me that how much air I have in the air tanks in my trailer is slowly rising. It's currently at about 120. The governor will cut it out at about 125 psi. This is my voltmeter. It should be between 13.6 and 14.6. It's currently at 13.7. This tells me that my alternator is charging my batteries properly. Alright. Now I'm going to test my windshield wipers. Windshield wipers are working properly. I'm going to test my windshield washer fluid. That's working properly as well. Test my heater and my defroster. Heater's working properly. Defroster's working properly. And my governor just cut out at 125 psi. So now I'm going to put the truck into the first lowest gear. Shut my engine off. Turn my key immediately back to the on position. That's how I can hear the low indicator light and buzzer come on. Now I'm going to release my brakes. After my initial drop in air pressure on my primary gauge, I should lose no more than 3 psi in 1 minute. You're going to need your stopwatch. 1 minute is up. I'm going to apply my service brake. I should lose no more than 4 psi in 1 minute. Again, you need your stopwatch. 1 minute is up. Now I'm going to fan my brakes down. At approximately 60 psi, my low air pressure warning light and buzzer should come on, which it just did. I'm going to continue fanning, and between 20 to 45 psi, my spring brakes should engage. My spring brakes have engaged and are working properly. Now shift the truck back into neutral, perform a safe start. Oil pressure's rising fine. Now I'm going to raise my RPMs back to 1500 until I reach 85 psi. At approximately 60 psi, my low air pressure warning indicator light and buzzer have shut off. I've reached 85 psi. I'm now going to let my engine back down to an idle. Time from 85 psi to 100 psi should take no more than 45 seconds. I've reached 100 psi. Now I'm going to raise my RPMs back to 1500 and listen for my governor to cut out at approximately 125 psi. Governor has cut out at 125 psi. I'll now do my tug test. Shift the truck into the first lowest gear. First I'm going to test my tractor brake. Tractor brake's working properly. I'll now test my trailer brake. Trailer brake's working properly. I'll now test my trolley brake. Trolley brake's working properly. Now test my service brake. Service brake's working properly. There's no pulling from side to side in the steering wheel. Shift the truck back into neutral. Apply my brakes. Engine off, key out. My Incab and air brake test is now complete.